You replay the text message one more time before hitting send. You change a word, then another. You stare at the screen, heart tightening, wondering if the tone sounds off, if they'll misunderstand, if you've said too much or not enough. 5 minutes pass. 10. Finally, you press send, and immediately the second wave hits. Did I say it wrong? Will they think I'm weird? Why did I even say that? And now you're trapped, waiting for a reply that might never feel like enough to quiet the storm in your mind. If this is you, you're not broken, you're not too sensitive, you're carrying something most people don't talk about, the weight of overthinking every little thing. It starts so innocently. A glance someone gave you at the grocery store, a friend who didn't laugh at your joke, a conversation that ended a little too quickly, and suddenly your mind becomes a courtroom where you're both the defendant and the judge, replaying every word, every gesture, searching for proof that something went wrong. You become an archaeologist of your own life, digging through moments that most people forget in seconds, looking for meaning in the smallest details. And the exhausting part? You can't stop. Even when you know it's irrational, even when you tell yourself it doesn't matter, your brain keeps spinning, keeps analyzing, keeps whispering. But what if? Here's what's happening beneath the surface. Your mind isn't doing this to torture you, it's trying to protect you. Somewhere, perhaps in childhood, perhaps through repeated painful experiences, your nervous system learned that vigilance equals safety. Maybe you grew up in an environment where emotions shifted unpredictably, where you had to read the room to feel secure, where a parent's mood determined the temperature of your entire day. So you became a detective of human behavior, learning to scan for microsignals of disapproval, rejection, or anger before they fully arrived. You learned that if you could just think through every possibility, anticipate every reaction, you might avoid getting hurt. But that childhood survival skill became an adult prison. Now you're an expert at noticing what others miss, but you've lost the ability to trust that things can simply be okay without constant analysis. When someone says, "I'm fine," you hear 7 different meanings. When someone doesn't text back immediately, you write entire narratives about what you did wrong. You're living in a perpetual state of threat detection, and your body believes that if you stop watching, something terrible will happen. This is what psychologists call hypervigilance paired with anxious attachment. Your brain is stuck in a loop where uncertainty feels dangerous, so it tries to resolve every ambiguity by thinking harder, longer, deeper. But here's the trap. Overthinking doesn't create clarity, it creates more questions. It's like trying to see your reflection more clearly by stirring the water. The more you analyze, the murkier everything becomes. You see it everywhere once you notice it. The person who apologizes 3 times for something insignificant. The friend who asks, "Are you mad at me?" when nothing happened. The colleague who sends a follow-up email to clarify a perfectly clear first email. The person who lies awake replaying a conversation from 6 hours ago, wondering if they sounded stupid, if they talk too much, if everyone secretly thinks they're annoying. These aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of a nervous system that learned love and safety are conditional, unpredictable, and must be earned through perfect behavior. And the cost? It's not just mental, it's physical. Your body stays tense, braced for impact. You feel tired even when you've done nothing. You avoid situations because the aftermath of overthinking is too draining. You hold back parts of yourself because it's easier to stay small than to risk saying the wrong thing. You become a ghost in your own life, watching from the sidelines, narrating your existence instead of living it. So how do you recognize this in someone else? Listen for the excessive apologies. Notice the person who needs constant reassurance. Watch for the one who takes everything personally, who seems to carry the weight of every interaction long after it's over. They're not dramatic, they're drowning in their own thoughts, trying to make sense of a world that feels perpetually unstable. And how do you recognize it in yourself? Ask these questions gently when you're alone. Do I replay conversations hours or days after they happen? Do I constantly seek reassurance that people aren't upset with me? Do I assume the worst when someone's behavior changes even slightly? Do I edit my words and actions obsessively, trying to avoid judgment? Do I feel exhausted by social interactions? Not because I'm introverted, but because I'm analyzing everything. Do I believe that if I just think hard enough, I can control how others perceive me? Do I feel like I'm always performing, always watching myself from outside, never fully present? If you answered yes to several of these, you're not alone. And here's what might help. Start noticing when the spiral begins. Not to stop it forcefully, but to witness it with compassion. Say to yourself, "I'm overthinking again because I'm scared. That's okay. I'm safe right now." Practice sending the text without editing it 12 times. Let the conversation end without needing to fix it. Sit with the discomfort of not knowing what someone thinks. Your nervous system needs evidence that uncertainty isn't dangerous, and the only way to gather that evidence is to stop trying to control every outcome. Healing isn't about never overthinking again, it's about building tolerance for the unknown. It's about learning that you can survive someone's silence, their misunderstanding, their judgment. It's about trusting that you're still worthy even when you can't read someone's mind, even when you said something imperfect, even when you didn't get it exactly right. You are not too much. You are not broken. You're simply carrying old fears into new moments. And slowly, gently, you can learn to set them down. One unedited text at a time, one conversation you don't replay, one moment where you choose presence over analysis. That's where freedom lives. Not in thinking less, but in trusting more. In yourself, in the resilience you've always had, in the possibility that you're already enough, exactly as you are.